Live the creed, even if it's every meeting you focus on a new phrase. Today it's too strong for fear. Let's hear about a risk you took this week and go around the room. Do you follow me? And those of you who think of yourselves as older, wonderful, wiser, silver-haired, would you please stay out of their way? Thank you. All right. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about this in just a second. So it's all about when we feel good. Now what I want you to do is I'm going to ask for Chris over there to help me with the music cue, is you're going to turn to the person next to you. And I want you to find out what happens when you feel good. Right now, you're going to turn to that person next to you and you're going to fill out this sentence. When I feel good, I have more energy. Certainly that's one answer. Okay? When you feel good, you have more of this, less of this, more of this, less of this. I want 8 or 10 of them. You're going to have 30 seconds on your marks. Get set, grow. When I feel good, I have more of this, less of that, more of this. Come on. All right, I lost my gong. Okay, talk to me. When I feel good, I have more what? Friends, fun, energy, hope, compassion, focus, creativity, yes? You even look good, don't you? Come on, admit it. When you feel good, you look good? I'm going to give you your first homework today. Former high school teacher, you got homework. Ready? Every morning, you're going to start your day with 3 things you're grateful for. Every morning, before your feet hit the floor, that's what you're going to do. How come? Because it's the easiest way to get from 5 to 95. It's the easiest way. And then up here, you can start having hope, but you can't be hopeful down here. So I first have to get you from 5 to 95. And what are you going to do? You're going to think of 3 things you are what? Grateful for, and no repeats. Sorry, no repeats, huh? Beautiful sunshiny day, huh? You're grateful tomorrow for sunshine. You're done with sunshine for life. Any questions? Okay? And why would that be? Because there's too many other wonderful things to be grateful for. So what I did was I started my little 3 gratitudes every morning. I wrote them down, yeah? Don't just think it, ink it, as Zig says, huh? And so I wrote them down every day, and men started to notice. Ricky, you look younger. And I said, oh, well, thanks. And they started giving me a note. Ricky, you look like 10 years younger. And I said, well, thanks. And I mean, there's a pattern. And then one guy made the ultimate mistake. Mary Kay, you look like 25 years younger. And I said, how old did I look? Don't ever tell a woman that. All right, so we're going to summarize this, dear ones. And again, feel free to adopt this. When we feel good, good things happen. Let's say it together. When we feel good, good things happen. So the question at your next meeting is what you are talking about before the speaker. A topic that feels good, huh? Is a thing you talk about at the first thing when people sit down at your meetings. Is it a feel-good conversation? And if it isn't, shift happens. Yes? And I want you to shift that conversation gently. You don't have to stop people. You don't have to stop them. You just need to be proactive. You with me? You start the conversation with, well, tell me about the best thing that's happened to you all week. Now, there is no negative answer to that. There might be a Mack truck pause, but there is no negative answer, so that's what I want you to do. All right. So any questions about that before we continue? Students, you're doing great. Would you now turn the page to that get the picture page, huh? Because we're going to talk about 2 or 3, see, it depends on our time frame, of these highways, all right? And the first one is called get the picture. All right, students, studies have shown that successful people do 8 different things differently from unsuccessful people. Are you interested in learning what they are? Are you? And that's what the students say, by the way. And I never teach anything that students don't ask me to teach them. And I say, all right, well, here's what I'd like to tell you. The first thing that successful people do, I found, that unsuccessful people do not do, is the difference between a thought and a belief. You see, because you've never been told what the difference is, there's no way you could have practiced this. But today you're going to be told. A belief is a thought you keep thinking until you feel it. Students, say that one with me if you would, please. A belief is a thought you keep thinking until you feel it. So I'm going to talk to the optimists for a second. I want you to imagine doubling your club in membership this year. I want you to imagine it. And at first, some of you are not feeling good because you're saying, oh, but I don't know how. Here's the deal, if you look right on there. Number 2, goals are smart.
Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-based.
That's a goal. Here's the reality about a goal. No one ever gets out of bed for one, right? A goal is, I'm going to go jogging 3 times this week. Well, lovely. But that's not the end result, is it? I'm going to go jogging because my daughter's wedding, this is true, is this month. And I want to look hot on that dance floor. Yes, I do. Huh? So that's my dream. My dream is to have the most wonderful wedding and to feel comfortable in my body and healthy and vitality. That's my dream. That's what's getting me out of bed to do the exercising. Does that make sense? So let's say again, a belief is a thought you keep thinking until you what? Feel it, until you feel it. So what is the difference between a goal and a dream? A dream is big, it's bold, innovative, and grand, and with a dream you don't know how. You see, this is what's challenging. This is why students have been telling you their dreams, because they're afraid you're going to come back with, how are you going to do that? And quite frankly, Barack Obama didn't know when he was in 3rd grade how he was going to pull that off. Quite frankly, Michael Phelps, when he was in 2nd grade, had no idea. And Kate Winslet, who just won Best Actress, no clue. Was it still okay to have the dream, yes or no? Yes. Thank you. So we're going to get out of the how business. We're going to fire Howie, and we're going to come right back to what is it you want and why do you want it? That's all you have to write on that line under number 2. What is it you want, students? What is it you want, young people? What is it you want, Optimist International, and why do you want it? And you know what? The how will take care of itself. Let me just talk about Michael Phelps for a second. When Michael Phelps was asked after his 8th gold medal, I think we have some beautiful gold medals back there, huh? 8 gold medals. Michael, tell us, how does it feel? Can you sum it all up? Do you think Michael had ever practiced what he was going to say to Bob Costas at that moment? Yes or no? Absolutely. What else is he thinking about for 400,000 laps? Boy, this is hard. I don't think so. He's thinking about the end result. Get the picture is go to as though it's already happened and imagine it. And that's how you're going to build your clubs. You're going to imagine how wonderful it's going to be. And oh my gosh, we're going to need new sheets because all the names won't fit on this one. Are you with me? All right. So then what Michael Phelps turned to the camera and said, well, thanks, Bob. I just want to say how grateful I am for. Turn to the person next to you and guess what he said. I just want to say how grateful I am for. How did he finish that sentence? Guess. Okay. That was a murmur. Talk to me. Raise your hand nice and high and just stand up and guess what you think he said. Wheaties, no. His mom is the most logical guess. He didn't say, I almost fell off my chair when I heard what he said. Achieving my dream, good guesses. The opportunity, no. My coach, my strangely shaped body, no. The French team that I got to, no. I'm serious. You know the competition brings out the best in you. My dear friend, the bullies when he was little, good guesses. You ready? I just want to say how grateful I am for my imagination. Because when everybody else told me this was impossible, in my imagination, I knew it was possible. Let's go back to 1984. Her name was Mary Lou Retton. Yeah, Mary Lou Retton. Hello. What did she have? She had a road to success that looks like all our young people's road to success. It looks like your club's road to success, huh? If here's where you are and here's where you want to be, take out your finger right now and draw me, everybody in this room, the road to success in the air in front of you. Please draw me the road to success. I don't want to see any straight lines. Not one. Thank you. Okay? All right. And where do most of us give up? Right there. At the very first dip, 55%. Again, do we need optimism in this world? Yes or no? Thank you. Our creed can change our world, but only if we are the ones to start living it. So this is what happened to Mary Lou Retton. But this also happened. She had surgery on her knee, 5 weeks before the Olympics. And the surgeon said, well, I'm sorry, you're just not going to be able to compete. You have 3 months of physical therapy. She said, I'll do the 3 months of physical therapy in the 5 weeks. You get out of my way. at 15 years old. She turned 16 the week before the Olympics, and what do you think? Did she make her gold medal, yes or no? 2 gold medals, 3 silvers, making her the top medal winner from any country in any event at the 1984 Olympics. And yet she did something more amazing. Please stand and raise your hand and shout it out if you think you remember. What else did Mary Lou? Talk to me. A perfect 10, she won another book. Let's give her a hand. Wonderful. Yes. Honey, the sales table's right out the door. Okay, so perfect 10. Oh my gosh. The reporters came up. Mary Lou, how does it feel to have gotten the first perfect 10 for the United States? Do you know what she said?
Like it's always felt.
It's never happened before. Oh, it's happened thousands of times in my mind. All you have to do is tell these stories to students. They're in the book. You can memorize them. You probably have a whole bunch at home. Tell the stories of how changing your mind changes your life, and you can help every student you meet. Because his name was Michael. And when I met him, he was getting all C's and D's, and he slouched when he walked. But that day, he got the picture. And when the bell rang, everybody else left, and he was still sitting there. And I said, Michael, do you have any questions, dear one? He goes, no, I got it. I got it, and I'm going to do it. And I didn't know what it was. I just knew Michael was going to do it. And surely enough, that day he went to his swimming day against the top team in the state. And he imagined that there was going to be a 1 in his lane, but there wasn't just a 1 in his lane when he got out. He had taken 2 full seconds off of his swim time, which is miracle category. And who became the motivational trainer for his swim team? Michael. And when I saw him 5 years later and said, hey, we have new 8 to Great cards, he says, why, isn't the old one good anymore? And he took it out of his wallet. I beg you, give students a process for hope. Let's turn the page. Actually, you don't have to turn the page. Oh, no, it's potato time. That's why I have notes. Can I have 4 people up here, 4 wonderful risk takers? Come right up here on stage. Let's have a hand for those 4 people right now. Here they come. 1, 2, 3, and 4. One more hand for them, please. All right. Woohoo! All right. Now, my question for all of you is, how hard is it to put a straw through a really large raw potato? Come on, let's hear those answers. Not that hard. Anybody else?
I've never tried it.
Never tried it? Okay.
Do it
Hang on. You don't want to do this till I've given you a couple instructions. The answer, and there's only one correct answer, is it's as hard as you believe it is. It's as hard as you believe it is. And if you think you can put it through, you can't. It's only once you believe that you can. Now, wait. Huh? And what I'm going to do is, if it doesn't go through the first time, excuse me, it's a little sloppy. You're going to turn over your potato, turn over your straw, hold it more like a spear than a pencil, and put it through a second time. Any questions? Oh, she's getting excited. I can see the perspiration already on her head. Okay, so this is wonderful. Now, dear ones, do you believe they can do it? Okay, now here's what we need to be. We need to be unlike the football fans who quit cheering when the kids struggle on the field. Okay, what is that about? If there's any hesitation or they need a couple more straws, you're going to get louder, not softer. Are we clear? And your chant is yes. Now, hang on just a second. Again, you know how to hold it? Know how to hold the potato? Yes? You believe you can do it? Yes or no? Yes? Okay, here we go. Yes, 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 yes. Put it on through. Yes, you did it. Oh my gosh. Yes, 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 yes. You don't have to kill it. You're good, sweetheart. Yes, 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 yes. All right, you can keep those as mementos. All right, let's give them one more hand. All right, guys. Awesome. Woohoo. Wonderful. Now, for all of you who are sitting safely and comfortably in your non-risking seats, I have something for you. Anybody out here have a dream, yes or no? All right? You wouldn't be alive if you didn't. I want you to think of one of those, and I don't care if it's a yellow convertible or if it's changing the world or tripling your membership. I don't care what it is. I want you to think of what that dream is right now, and I want you to turn and share, the one that you can share, with the person next to you. And you know how they're going to Do you know? The men laughed the loudest at that joke, I think. I could be wrong. Here's the deal. They're going to interview you as though it's already happened. Because the best way to get the picture is to do what Michael did, is to imagine having the one in your lane before it happens. Any questions? Turn to the person now, share that dream. They will interview you. You have to talk in past tense. Oh, we had the best time at the Final Four game. You with me? Here we go. On your marks, get set, go. Okay. Woohoo! How much time? Chris, go for it. Woohoo! Thank you. One question. How did that feel? Yes? Do you know when if you can hear me, clap twice. Thank you so much. So do you know when I asked that group to Michael's class and I said, so Michael, how did that feel? He turned to me and he said, freaking awesome. And that's why he was able to get out of the pool that day with a 1 in his lane. So that's the question for you, is that is an activity you can do with your kids, your grandkids, your joy group, any young adult that you have. Is ask them for their dream and then ask them to pretend. What is the worst thing that can happen? They'll be a little what? Disappointed. And the best thing that can happen is it will come true. Last story I love to tell was the Kate Winslet one. If anybody stayed up late enough for the Academy Awards, she was the one that won Best Actress in the film, remember? And what did she say? I only watched the Academy Awards for this kind of speech. Oh, I want to thank you all so much. Of course, I've practiced this speech a million times. I used to practice it when I was a little girl in front of the bathroom mirror. This would be a shampoo bottle. Well, it's not a shampoo bottle anymore. Thank you so much. Are you willing to dream and believe? Yes or no, optimists? Give yourselves a hand. Give yourselves a hand. Awesome. Woo! All right, then let's move right on to risk. Because we can't stop with just believing. If you really believe, you're going to get out of your chair. And congratulations to all of those of you who did recruit new Optimist members this year. Is Dwight Phillips in our audience today? Dwight Phillips. 2 Dwight Phillipses? I need the one from Jamaica, man. Is he here? Dwight. Oh, okay. It's too far for you to come up. Would you all just turn around and look at the man who, when I said I can't make the lunches, he said, it's not about the lunches. Would you please give him a hand? He is your latest recruiter. All right. And so the question is, did Dwight quit here when he invited me to join the Optimist? Do you understand what we're talking about? And so you have to, first of all, be living this creed on a very deep level. And then it will just pour out. It'll ooze out of your pores. And then people will be pulling on your shirt to ask you what group you belong to. Let's answer these questions. Number 1, what is the most popular ad campaign in the history of American advertising? American advertising, 3 words, has to do with tennis shoes, sort of. Just do it. It really doesn't have anything to do with tennis shoes, does it? It has everything to do with life. And so I'm going to ask you, I'm going to give you a formula in just a second. Number 2, we're going to define risk. Here is why. When I speak to schools or churches or whoever it is, I say, you know, there's a problem. If I have an auditorium full of parents and I say, we're going to teach your kids to risk, they go, no, please, no, no. And yet if I have an auditorium full of business owners, I say, we're now teaching our high school students to risk, they say, it's about time. Now, what's the discrepancy there? The discrepancy is we don't have a decent definition. 8 to great. It's going to get me on Oprah, you watch. 8 to great is changing that because we're now going to give the world the best risk definition in the history of language. Ready? Run to, not what. That is it. And all you have to do is ask students these questions and you yell out, students, is this a to or a from? Cheating on a test? Yell it out. Lying to a friend? Asking a teacher for help. Asking a girl out. Getting drunk. Asking your neighbor if you can mow their lawn for pay. Do you understand how powerful this is? You see, because we just got out of the morality game. The morality game is you should, you shouldn't, you should, you shouldn't. You tell a teenager what they shouldn't do, which way are they headed? They got to find out what all the fuss is about, don't they? And so that's your question from now on. Am I running to or running from? And would you please notice that getting drunk, in every situation, the students will say what? Is a from. It's so powerful. Students won't do it because we think they should, but they will do it because they want to be successful. You hook them up with their dreams, and then you say, okay, here's what successful people do. They run to. Unsuccessful people, they run from. The principal was in Michigan. Jeremy was acting out when he was substituting for a sick teacher. He pulled him out in the hall, and he said, Jeremy, I'm just curious, are you running to or from? And Jeremy said, oh, from, sorry, turned around, changed his behavior, and was the model student for the rest of the class. Not because the principal thought he should, but because he knew he wanted to be successful. So my question for you is, what are you willing to risk? Let's keep going. We already know what the road to success looks like, can't we? Don't we? So turn the page, okay? What is the formula? Oh my gosh, guys, this is so important. I think it deserves a drum roll. What can you drum roll on? You find something. Here we go. How to make every decision for the rest of your life and know it's the right one. If you had no fear, what would you do? That's the question. If you had no fear, what would you do? It's simple, isn't it? Now, the very first time I shared it with an international conference like this, one gentleman, brave one, from the back row yelled out, excuse me, ma'am, did you say if I had an affair, what would I do? I said I did not, but here's the good news. If you had no fear, you wouldn't have the affair. It's a run what? It's a run from. And so that's the question, and I'm telling you, the only reason I wrote the curriculum that took me 10 years and nobody pays you to write is because I kept asking myself that question. If I had no fear that schools would somehow find the money, that I would somehow find organizations that would partner with me, if I had no fear that more people are going to walk out on this talk. It's a joke. It's all right. Thanks for coming. If I had no fear, what would I do? And you know how we spell fear, don't you? False evidence appearing real. So here's what I want you to do now. I want you to do one more thing with that person sitting next to you. I want you to turn to them and share a risk that you've taken that you're glad you did, or a risk you want to take and you haven't taken yet. This is another activity from our curriculum. Turn to the person next to you. A risk you've taken that you're glad you did, or a risk you want to take but you haven't taken yet. And your marks get set, grow.